I welcome you here with an open heart and an open mind. I honor that place where the universe dwells in you. I had to change that a little bit. I see you through the eyes of unconditional love, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Just do that line with me. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that you're here. All right, I'll work. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day, this healing day, this healing day. That's the whole thing. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day, this healing day, this healing. Am I seeing you singing with me? Here we go. Thank you for this day, Spirit. You can dance too if you want. Get up and dance. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day, this healing day, this healing. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you. Look around the screen. Put it on gallery view and point to people and say, my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful. That was so good. Let's do it again. Look around the screen and say, thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. My radiance, my radiant health, my radiant. You go, Mary. She's dancing and everything. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. My glorious life. My glorious life. My glorious. How about my wealth? Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my opulent, my opulent, my opulent. You all did that very well. Sing that again. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent. All right, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this healing. This healing day. This healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Oh, thank you for this day, Spirit. I want to thank you, thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Oh, you guys are so good. That's my applause button. Do you like that? So can I give you a brand new chant? I wrote this with a wonderful musician, Jan Garrett. So everyone just take a deep breath. Let's just kind of get into church mode here of just connecting with our spirits, being with each other. It's all about connection. You all look so good, may I just say. Nice looking group of people, I gotta say. So I wrote this for me to remember. No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen. No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen. Sing that with me now. No push, no pull, no pull, empty and full. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive. I breathe and receive and listen. Got it? Do that again. No push, no pull, empty and full. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen. Let me give you another little verse. The space in between, the space in between, the invisible is seen. The invisible is seen. The silence is singing. The silence is singing. So listen, listen, listen. The space in between. The space in between. The invisible is seen. The silence is singing. So I listen. Let's go back to the first one. No push, no pull. No push, no pull, empty and full. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen. Let's sing it one more time. No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen, listen, listen. I listen, listen, listen. That's what it's all about. Just listen, listen, listen. Listen. Just take a deep breath. So today is about sparking your imagination and looking at what you're dreaming about. So here's a song from quite a long time ago. Life can be what I make it to be. Everything real comes naturally. Magic is with me in a place I can't see when I dream. When I dream, I'll dream of the mountains that one day I'll climb. I'll travel the oceans inside my mind. Everything's possible and everything's fine when I dream. When I dream, anytime I go inside and ask those questions that are in my mind, relax and breathe and enjoy the ride. Mystery adventure is waiting for me. I'll let myself float on the wings of desire, turning that feeling of passion to fire. Letting go is all that's required when I dream. When I dream, and anytime I go inside and ask those questions that are in my mind, relax and breathe and enjoy the ride, 'cause mystery adventure is waiting for me. I'll let myself float on the wings of desire, turning that feeling of passion to fire. Letting go is all that's required. Wait a minute, I'm going to sing that again because it's kind of really important. One of the main parts of my talk today. Letting go is all that's required. Did you hear that? Because if you didn't, I'll say it one more time. Letting go is all that's required when I dream. When I dream, when I dream, when I dream. La la la, la la la, la 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 la. So here's the question today. What are you dreaming about in your life? What are you dreaming about? Anything. What are you dreaming about? So I'm writing a song right now about reframing. And one of the lines in the song was all about when you see something that triggers you, it's all about taking a look a little deeper. And so sometimes your dreams come up by getting triggered with something. So I have these two friends that they're always on Facebook and they're always posting about their camping trips and how much fun they're having. And every time I see their posts, I get a little irritated. And I was going, why am I getting irritated that they're having so much fun? When I dream, and I started to dream about this. I started to think about what is going on here. And I realized if I'm going to really spark my imagination and look at this, I realized that I wasn't having much fun, that they were representing fun, and that I hadn't been dreaming very big recently. Kind of had my head in the sand with all this COVID stuff. And I started to say, I need to dream a little bit bigger. I need to use my imagination. I need to spark those embers that are in my soul about what I want to do. So I have a file on my computer. Now, this is a little bit too revealing, but I'm going to tell you. I have a file on my computer that says fun. And when I see pictures or ideas, I put it in my fun file. And I hadn't looked at this fun file for a while. And the fact that I even have a fun file kind of gives you a clue that I need to work on my fun part of my life. But in this file, one of the things that was sparking my imagination that I was dreaming about was riding my bike. And when I think back, when I use my imagination, and I think back when I was a kid, I lived way up high in the Hollywood Hills. And the only way that I could get down the hill and have fun was to ride my bike. And so I would ride my bike down the long, windy roads of Laurel Canyon. And I was so free and I had so much fun. And in my file of fun was a little sub-file called e-bikes, electric bikes. And I've been putting pictures in this file for a long time. And when I started to notice how much I was getting triggered by my friends having fun, I opened that file and I said, it's time. And I pulled up the bike that I wanted. I went to the website. I took a deep breath and I said, buy. And I gave myself that gift. When I dream, you've got to dream and use your imagination to see what you want. Or if you're stuck, or if you're a little bored, you got to look at what's underneath that. So I finally took that breath and I said, buy. I said, buy. Buy that bike, ride that bike, do whatever I need to have fun and dream. So what's your dream? Dream. Just dream. So it comes down to this. It's a magic wand. Wait. So what, if you were to take a magic wand to your life, do you love that? Wait, now it's going crazy. Wait. What is your magic wand? What is it that you need to give yourself right now in your life that would make you feel like you could dream again, that you could just start to take those cobwebs away of what we've been through in this last year of, more than a year, of just allowing yourself to think about what is it that I want right now. I mean, we have an opportunity right now to reframe, refocus, restart, relaunch who we are and what we want to be. But it starts first up here. It starts first with our imagination. We have to imagine it first. I mean, that's what I love about this philosophy. It doesn't say just sit there and pray and just know that, everything's going to come to you. No, we say treat and move your feet, right? You know that expression, treat and move your feet? So in other words, think about what you want, but then take action for it. So my bike hasn't gotten here yet, but when it does, I'm going to be very excited because that was part of a dream. It was part of me looking at what's not working in my life. I'm not having enough fun. What brings me fun? Riding a bike. And now I can ride up these hills where I live right now. But here's the deal. Here's what I want to say. Is that right now in this, I was thinking about today of like, why would I be talking about this when everything in the world just seems so insane and depressing and, all the COVID stuff, and I mean, all the stuff that's going on. But you know what I feel? I feel that our imagination, I could get emotional about this. I feel like our imagination and what we can envision and see and claim and have hope for is what's going to get us through this. What's going to get us through this and what's going to unite us, having a vision of what this world could be. A healthy world, a world where people are united and not divided. And that comes with having a vision. I love the quote that someone said, and how does it go? They were saying that when you see something that gets you upset, like if you're driving past homeless people and it upsets you, or you're driving past, the animal shelter and something is upsetting to you, this person just said, whenever you see something like that, that has your name on it. So in other words, that is your spirit calling to you to say, that might be something you want to put some attention towards, and look at where you can make your difference there. But I want to give you this quote that I love. Imagination is the power of forming a mental image of something not present to the sense or never been wholly perceived in reality. Do you love that? It's not something that is present to your senses or never even been wholly perceived in reality. It is the creative ability or mental capacity for experiencing and manipulating mental images. So when we think about our lives and we think about where we want to go and who we want to be, we have to form it first in our minds. And that's why we do so much work around clearing the clutter of our minds with forgiveness and how we pray and how we look at, what is not working in our lives and how we can change that around. And some of this stuff doesn't happen overnight, but it's planting the image in that fertile soil of potentiality that when you plant that seed and you water it, it starts to grow. I always actually feel like every time I've made a change in my life, it happened by getting a little angry at something, getting a little pissy about something. And what would happen was, if I got a little pissy at something, that would be a seed that would all of a sudden get planted in this ground. And every single time it got triggered again, it was like someone came along and watered it. And that seed started to come up from way deep down below that I didn't even know it was there. But I started to vision. I started to have ideas of what I wanted in my life. And the more that I started to have that mental equivalent, that seed started to come up with something new that I might not have even known was there. Do you love when you see a crack in the sidewalk and there's just like one little piece of green coming out, or a little flower? That's what I'm talking about here. That your spirit is always calling you forward to express, to be all of who you are. So let me just look at this for a second. So here's the thing. when did our imagination stop? When did we kind of stop daydreaming? You know, in a way, if you look at a hose, a garden hose, and it's on and you step on it, what happens? All of a sudden it gets all backed up, right? And all of a sudden there's no water coming out. And I think what happens to all of our little beings inside, all of our little kids, is that at some point someone told you, oh, would you stop daydreaming? You know, get real, get practical. And on some level, we turn that little, we put a stamp on that. We stamp down on that garden hose. And I want to talk about that today so that we allow ourselves to just take your foot off and let that flow of energy, of spirit, just come through. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, I used to have teachers yell at me, you know, because I would be in geometry, which I hated, and I would be in geometry class, and I'd be staring out the window and just daydreaming, and, you know, it would always be, Karen, what are you doing? Come back, come back. And I realized that happened so much to me, but that's where I lived. I lived in daydreams. And at some point, it just started to shrink and shrink and shrink so that I kind of stopped doing it. And so this talk today is really about just remembering what it is that you have, that ability to daydream and look at what you want. I mean, again, when you think about all the different things that we have in our lives, the light bulb, the Golden Gate Bridge, anything, it all came from somebody daydreaming, someone dreaming about, wow, here's a body of water. What would it look like if I built a bridge over it? So, I mean, think about all these people. Thomas Edison, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, I read that he used to lie in his bed with a candle and look at the flickering, the images that would happen on the ceiling with that candle and imagine the paintings that he would do on the ceiling. Think about the Wright brothers, Oprah Winfrey. I mean, all these different people. Walt Disney. I mean, Walt Disney from a little mouse. Can you imagine what he became with Walt Disney? That started with a mouse. So think about that. So the first time that I really got this idea of what imagination could be, it was really the concept of act as if. And so when I talk about imagination and what it is that you're wanting to do, it's really about looking at, again, something that's not in your life presently, but you start to imagine it, and you start to see it, and you vision it, and then you treat and move your feet. So imagine this story. I'm a house cleaner. I'm in my, I think late 20s. I'm cleaning houses during the day. And one of the people that I work for says to me, you know, Karen, you must want to do more than clean houses. And I say to him, yes, you know, I want to be a musician, but, you know, I do this during the day so that maybe I can play clubs at night, but I don't have any gigs yet. And he goes, well, let me make a call. And he gets me this job. And he knows a friend who has a hotel in San Francisco. And so within a week, I'm now a professional musician. I'm playing at this piano bar. And to me, I'm thrilled. I'm making $50, $50 a night, I think, was what my pay was. And it was one of those piano bars. Now, you just need to get the idea here. Velvet walls, like velvet wallpaper with pictures of, it was called the Poets Pub, and it had pictures of dead poets on the walls. And I swear sometimes I thought they were like looking at me like this. And I would play, and it would be this grand piano with all these people around. You know, they would sit at the piano and smoke cigarettes and put $1 in my tip jar when I sang, you know, New York, New York, or Piano Man or something. So you get the idea. But I'm thrilled because I'm a working musician, and this is great. So this is what I was talking about when you start to have things not work for you, that it's a good sign. So I'm doing this job and everything's fine for about 6 months. But at about the 6-month mark, I'm starting to feel this sinking feeling of every time I come to work, it just feels like, oh my God, I've got 4 hours in front of me of doing this. And it just started to feel long and hard. I would take my watch off and go, okay, I'm not going to look at my watch for a really long time. And then I'd look at my watch and 10 minutes had gone by, that feeling. So I started to get depressed, started to feel like this is all that there is for me. And at that time, and this is what I love about the universe, you know how the universe will sometimes give you gifts of a friend, will give you a book, or something will happen. Well, someone gave me, I think it was a Wayne Dyer book, and it was what was called Believe It, You'll Believe It When You See It. Believe it? No, you'll see it when you believe it. I don't know, whatever. What is it? Who knows this book? It was the thing about you got to believe it first and then you'll see it. That's what it is. And he talked all about act as if. And so out of the blue, I started to daydream. I started to just allow myself to vision more than me playing at this little piano bar. Now, I want you to know that if I didn't vision, I would still be at that piano bar. But because I started to just vision and look at, there must be something different, there must be something bigger for me out there, I started to allow myself to just daydream. And in this book, he would talk about, what do you want? Ask yourself that question over and over. What do you want? And what will happen a lot of times is you'll have resistance come up where you might not even know. You'll just go blank and go, I don't know. And actually, I want to recommend this book to you all. It's called The War of Art. If any of you are coming to my workshop next week, required reading, this book is great because it's all about that whenever you try and do anything new, resistance comes up. And when you start to work with that resistance, when you know that that's going to come up, you can start to work with that idea. But anyway, I start to vision about what I want. And finally, I start to get clear on saying, what do I want? What do I want? And I start to have a vision of playing piano in a better place. What would that look like? A better hotel, more money. But then I thought, what would it be like if I was on a cruise ship? Where would I want to go? And I started to see myself, I love going to Hawaii. What fun, I'll go to Hawaii. And all of a sudden, I started to think about playing on a cruise ship in Hawaii, how fabulous that would be. And again, treat and move your feet. I got online, I started to look at everything and research, and I found out about this, this place called American Hawaii Cruises that has entertainment, and I do all the research. And now what happens is when they said, send us a tape and your information, as soon as I made that commitment and sent everything off, all of a sudden, I had a vision. This is what I wanted to do. And all of a sudden, those 4 hours that I had at that job every night transformed. Now I had to get my act together. I had to work on my material. I had to do stuff. And it just gave me this new lease because I had a new vision. I wasn't going to always be here. Something else was happening, even though I didn't know it yet, even though I didn't have any clue or have any sense of reality of what this looked like. So as the story goes on, I'm just waiting for the phone call from American Hawaii Cruises. Like, I'm ready, here I go. And a month passed, and another month passed. And I start to feel that enthusiasm just go down and down. And I start to feel like, oh my God, this is all I'll ever do. And I start to get into hopelessness. And I realized at that time, this is when spiritual practice and having faith and keeping that vision and holding that vision and having prayer partners and having other ideas too of where this could be. It doesn't have to just be that one thing. Create a new vision. If the first one isn't working, keep working on other things to keep that idea going. But after about a month, I'm looking at other ideas and going, okay, this didn't work. And then one night, this guy walks in. He's a great singer. He starts singing with me at the piano bar, and I'm going, well, what is this all about? This is really interesting. And I finally say to him, who are you? Why are you singing with me? You sound fabulous. And he said, well, this is a real interesting thing. I'm here for 2 weeks. The ship that I work on is in dry dock. And I went, ship? Yeah, I'm on American Hawaii Cruises. I'm on the entertainment committee, and I'm in charge of entertainment, and we're all here for 2 weeks, and I do shows every night. So to make a long story short, within a week I was on American Hawaii Cruises singing. Yay! But here's the thing. So I did that for a while until that wasn't what I wanted to be, where I wanted to be anymore. And I had to get a new vision. And from that, I got another vision. And so what I'm saying is that this is what life is it's this zigzag path that you have to keep visioning before you even know what anything looks like. What feels, where is my joy? Where is my spark? Where are the things that can light me up? And so one of the things that I love to say to myself is, my spirit is calling me to what? So ask that of yourself right now. My spirit is calling me to, and just, what is the first thing that comes up? My spirit is calling me to. It could be the smallest thing. My spirit is calling me. You know, one of the things, I love this little story. I got to tell you, I hope I have enough time. I'm just rambling on here and having too much fun with y'all. A friend of mine got in a fight with her landlord. This just happened like last week. I just love this story. She got in a fight with her landlord and said, that's it, I'm done, I'm moving. She had no idea where she was going to move to, but that day, she simply started packing. She just went home and started packing. And again, nothing in sight, nowhere, no evidence that there was anything available that she could move to. But she just started, she went out, got boxes, started packing, and found a new place within a week that is 10 times better than the place she was living in. I mean, that's faith. That's treating and moving your feet, of just knowing what you want. So here's the question. How do we do it? How do we do this? So one of the things I think is the most important is to just get quiet enough to listen. Get quiet. Get quiet. Just feel in your heart, what is your spirit calling you to do? And you know, one of my favorite exercises that if you come to my workshop next week, we're going to be doing is you look at what's it and what's not it in your life. What lights you up? What dims you down? What we're going for is the light. Right now, we need the light from all of us. So when you get quiet enough to listen to what your heart is saying and to put your hand over your heart and say, what is my spirit calling me to do right now? And then listen and allow. Let spirit start to speak to you through different ways. You know, I wrote a book years ago, and that book came to fruition only because people kept coming up to my table when I was selling my CDs after church, saying, well, where's your book, Karen? I heard you had a book. Where's your book? Did it sell out? Can I get it on Amazon? And I had like 10 people within a week say this to me, and I'm going, I don't have a book. What are you talking about? But that was Spirit's way of going, hello. And that book came easily and effortlessly. And it was, you know, it was just, and the other thing you got to do is you got to tell your spirit, you got to tell your critic to back off. When you have a dream and you have a vision, you have to treat it so sacredly. And if your critic comes in, you got to say, just back off. So I want you all to practice this with me right now. Put your hand up in front of you like this. You're going to snap and you're going to go, back off. So you got to treat those dreams with like a little baby child. So you got to just go, back off. So one of the things I say is, I know you are there. I hear what you say, but that is not my truth today. I know you are there. I hear what you say, but back off because that's not my truth today. And then the last thing is really being open to the possibilities. So I'm going to leave you with one little chant I want you to sing with me, of just being open to the possibilities. And I want to also just read you this. Beware of minimizing imagination by equating it to a game of pretend. Every single creation in existence, from the Great Wall of China to the first flight to the moon, was a byproduct of imagination. But you got to be open. Open to the possibilities. I am open to the possibilities of a life that is meant to be lived by me. Let me change keys. I am open, that's better, to the possibilities. So sing that line with me. I am open to the possibility to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. So what are you open to right now? Just take a deep breath. It could be anything, the smallest thing. But just think about that for a minute. Just open the possibility. Open, even though you might not have any idea of what it looks like. Open, just let Spirit speak to you. Open, I am open. So stay open, let your imagination soar. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, so just continuing in this beautiful flow and just allowing your eyes to close if that feels right for you. As we take a few moments to be still, to go within. To, as Howard Thurman says, it's so good to center down. That we become still, we become centered, so that we may feel the presence of God as our own lives and as each other, in the stillness and in the silence. And during this time, during this stillness, during this meditation, you can use your breath as an anchor point or a guide. That any time you find yourself in the future or in the past or in a story or thought, you lovingly guide yourself back to an aspect of your breath. You can also use a quality of the Spirit, quality of God, like grace or love or harmony, peace. And just say that word to yourself and allow that to bring you back to the grace, to the present moment, to the here and now, which is all that there is. And so we just allow ourselves to become still in this moment, so that we may feel the infinite nature of our beings together. And with each breath, we just allow ourselves to become more and more of who we are, and allow ourselves to be exactly as we are right now. With every breath, we move closer and closer to that place within ourselves that is untouched by outside circumstances, by any history or any future, that place within ourselves that is always whole, perfect, and complete. Every breath leads us closer to that place. Simply noticing, where is your attention? So as we begin to close out this time of stillness, this time of silence, we just allow our hearts to remain open, our minds to remain open, to receive the blessings of this service. We just take a full breath in together and easily exhale out. And then as you're ready, you can allow your eyes to open, bringing your vision back to each other.